All right. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome again to our monthly live for the Wildlife Ambassador Program. In this next hour, you can look forward to some good updates on our upcoming gala, our past virtual Wildlife Ambassador Conference and Wildlife Hero Awards, as well as some news about avian influenza and road safety. My name is Max Ram. I'm the educator here for the Wildlife Ambassador Program.
And I'm Aurora McNabb, and I am the hotline coordinator. Thank you for joining us. And if you ever miss our lives, you can always go back to our YouTube channel and you can always see our lives from there as well, because they're going to be uploaded. And yeah.
All right, we'll go from there. And we're running a little bit behind time today, behind our schedule. We were having some slight technical difficulties there, but let's get right to it. So we'll start off with our usual intro song for this live from Bay C about One Health.
See, icon. Yeah. Listen me. Listen me, feature. Spread that one that with the paper across the region. Listen me, feature. Listen me. Listen me News would like to introduce you to this brand new concept. One health, one Caribbean, one love. One health, one Caribbean, one love. Together we're strong. One health, one Caribbean, one love. Together we're strong. One health are the brand new concept to fight virus and diseases. Calling all of the various doctors, let's work together to achieve this. Human doctor, animal doctor, the environmental doctor. Each one an important factor. The public health have a brand new chapter. A good example of chick-fil. Even if it don't hurt you, then it still a hurt me. If you check the process, you will see it move from the environment to animal, then to we. First from the egg in the water, then from the water to the mosquito, then from the mosquito it goes straight to the people. But if we work together, then it leads to one health, one Caribbean, one love. Together we're strong. One health, one Caribbean, one love. Together we're strong. One health is not just for people with medical occupation. It is for the entire population. So we need everyone cooperation across the region. Improve food security, better solid waste management and water purity. Protect the habitat for you and me, for the animals on the land and the fish in the sea. One Caribbean, one love. Together we're strong. One health, one Caribbean, one love. Together we're strong. Listen me. Enough respect to one health leaders. 12 countries across the region. To a health the Caribbean, them a leaders. Let me list out the island: Jamaica, Grenada, Guyana, Belize, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Suriname, Barbados, Dominica, Trinidad, Tobago, Haiti, Antigua. One health, one Caribbean, one love. Together we're strong. One health, one Caribbean, one love. Together we're strong. One health, one Caribbean, one love. Together we're strong. One health, one Caribbean, one love. Together we're strong.
All right, guys. So thanks again for joining our live. We appreciate it. We know there's a lot going on out there right now, but we do have some great topics for you guys today. We have some avian influenza Q&A, we have a road safety presentation, and of course we have some news about our past and upcoming events. So looking forward to getting into it. First of all, I believe Aurora has some questions, some trivia questions here for you guys, which I'll also be posting into the comment section. So would you like to go ahead and read those out for our viewers, Aurora?
So we want to share the trivia questions. We want you to take a look at the questions before our presentations, and you can always answer them under the comment sections. Like Max said, we're going to put the questions under the comment section so you don't miss the questions. So the first question is, what does HPAI stands for? And the second question is, why should we be worried about cases of HPAI so close to us? Note we have not yet had any confirmed cases in Belize, and we're gonna have 3 reasons to answer under the multiple choice question. So the multiple, okay, so I'm gonna put the multiple choice questions under the comment as well, so you can go ahead and give the answers.
Yeah, and for anyone who does answer both of those questions correctly, we will have a small merchandise prize for you from here at the BWRC.
Yeah.
So looking forward to hearing your responses. So on into our next topic, or our first topic actually. This weekend we have our upcoming Gala and silent auction to raise funds for conservation and to, keep everything here at the BWRC going. So do we have that flyer that we could put up? All right. So yeah, we're looking forward to seeing you guys here at the Gala. As you can see here from our flyer, it will be on November 1st, starting at 6 p.m. at the San Ignacio Resort and Hotels Bedran Hall, sorry. And we're going to have an awesome silent auction, guys. We have some great items, some great trips already up for the silent auction. We're going to have a wonderful 3-course dinner prepared by the resort and hotel. We'll go through the menu for that in just a moment. And of course, we'll have some door prizes, and it being November 1st, we also have our costume contest and our prize for the best costume for this gala as well. Registration is officially closed, but for viewers of this live, we're just going to keep it open a little while longer. So late registration is open until the end of today. So if you haven't registered yet, guys, now is your time. The more people you register, the more people you sign up for, the cheaper the tickets get as well. So it's going to be a really fun night here. Come out, enjoy some classy entertainment, some silent auctions and all, some wonderful food, and promise you won't regret it. So we do have all of this going on. November 1st, starting at 6 p.m., going a little later. We will have our first animal costume contest with the grand prize. Prices do get cheaper, and you can find that registration link right in our comment section as well. It'll be the first comment that we have there, actually. Then for our menu, do we have that? Well, sorry guys, we don't have the menu ready to pop up just as yet, but it will be a wonderful 3-course dinner. We do have vegetarian and vegan options as well for those among us who don't eat meat. So we're trying to be very inclusive with this gala and would love for you to join. And yeah, if anyone has any questions, you can feel free to reach out to us. We are still open to donations for the gala, for our silent auction section of it. So anybody that has any artwork, any different resort stays, anything like that they would like to donate, you can feel free. Like I said, we already have a bunch of several amazing donors that have really given us some great items for this. And if you aren't able to join us in person, you can always also place a bid with us via email or WhatsApp. So that takes us on. I think that's about everything that we have to say about the gala for the moment. But do keep in mind that registration is currently open for late registries, but that will be closing at the end of today. So if you haven't signed up, now is the time to do so, guys. You won't regret it. All right, and now moving on, let's talk a little bit about our past event, our Wildlife Ambassador Program 7th year anniversary conference and Wildlife Hero Awards. So it was a great program. We had some really amazing guest speakers come in and talk to us about important topics, ranging from the importance of One Health to the police department, to the impact that it's had across Belize. We got some wonderful opening remarks from Minister Habet. We had a bunch of really great people involved with this, and we had our first ever Wildlife Hero Awards, in which we had 15 great nominees. They put us through some tough decision making, but we came up with 5 wildlife heroes nominated in the end there. So our heroes for those awards were Sergeant Holly Vasquez of the Belize Police Department, Miss Victoria Chi of the Belize Forest Department, Mr. Marco Diaz, a ranger at the Belize Maya Forest Trust, Miss Stephanie Dawson, a teacher at St. Edmund Campion Primary School, who is also writing a children's book centered around wildlife, and Miss Reina Cho, a community member from Cayo who works at the Belize Raptor Center and also former Miss Earth Belize. So these guys were all really, really deserving of this award, and we were happy to, have some items to raffle off to them and have some great engagement amongst these people. I'll also put a link to our YouTube channel into the comments section. So if you weren't able to join us for the gala live, all of that information, the entire gala is up there. If you just want to see a certain aspect of it, one of the different presentations from our participants, all of those are there separately as well. So do feel free to browse on through and find the content that you'd be interested in. All right.
I also placed the menu under the comment sections for our gala. You can click the link and you're gonna find our menu for that. For a special event.
Yeah, so sorry about that. We hadn't had that in advance, but we do have, back to the gala, a wonderful 3-course dinner coming up. And now let's get on into some of the meat of this 1-hour live event, our Outbreaks of Concern, HPAI. So we have some videos to share with you guys from the World Organization for Animal Health. So we'll share those first, and then we'll be going through a brief Q&A with Dr. Isabel. So we'll get to that shortly.
That animal health is essential to our future, what would you think? That the impact of animal health systems on human health, livelihoods and ecosystems has never been more important. As the world has evolved, we've realised that in order to protect it, we need to engage ourselves in the bigger issues that affect us all. Global health, pandemics, climate change, food security and economies. All these issues are interconnected, with animal health playing a key role. Founded in 1924 as OIE, the World Organization for Animal Health is the global authority on animal health, working across borders to improve the health of animals and therefore our future, rising to new challenges rooted in our tradition and also refreshing our brand. While our brand identity has been refocused and refined, the core issues we deal with remain the same. We've been at the forefront of controlling animal diseases for almost 100 years. We help policymakers and governments create a future in which animals and humans benefit and support each other. We realised that the impact would be a more sustainable future where livelihoods are transformed, economies are boosted, and the world is safer and healthier for everyone. It is our mission to improve animal health globally, thereby ensuring a better future for all. We work with over 180 members to protect the health of animals, humans, and the planet. Science has always been the backbone of our approach, and we embrace advances in technology and veterinary healthcare based on scientific evidence. We focus on global initiatives by leading and designing science-based protocols to manage outbreaks before they become a threat to public health, livelihoods, and international trade. We do not operate in isolation, but by building strategic partnerships with other international organisations. So, would you believe me now if I told you that animal health is essential to our future? Animal health is our health. It's everyone's health. To learn more about the World Organization for Animal Health, visit our website www.war.org.
Sure. Let's do the introduction there on the late.
Again, with the figures from August 2025 on high pathogenicity avian influenza, also known as bird flu. In August, 12 avian influenza outbreaks were reported in poultry and 51 were reported in non-poultry birds. About 228,000 poultry birds died or were culled over the course of the month. The number of new outbreaks in poultry birds was relatively low, which is in line with the seasonal trend of the disease. Outbreaks in non-poultry birds continued to be reported in the Americas and Europe. No new outbreaks in mammals were reported in August. WOA continues to pay close attention to the avian influenza situation worldwide. Given the spread of avian influenza worldwide, WOA urges its members to maintain strong surveillance, strict biosecurity measures, and to report avian influenza outbreaks in all species in a timely manner. The impact of avian influenza on wildlife, livestock, and public health makes a One Health approach to managing the disease critical. Remember, transparency and sharing high-quality information are critical in supporting the prevention and rapid response to avian influenza. To read the full report, visit the WOA website. Here we
Over 100 million farm-raised birds. That's how many chickens, turkeys, and other poultry have died because of avian flu in the United States since 2022. Up until now, most of us have only really seen the effects of this in our grocery bills. But then, on January 6th, someone in Louisiana died. It was the first reported human death from avian flu in the United States, which is pretty alarming. But the TLDR here is you don't actually have to panic. So far, there have only been 67 human cases in the United States, and infections are typically very mild. It's unlikely this will be another COVID. And maybe that's all you care to know. That being said, avian flu isn't going anywhere anytime soon. It's been found in every US state and on every continent except Australia. Public health experts are concerned because there is a chance this could get worse. So what I wanted to know was this: if we're not worried now, is there a point when we should be?
All right. We're live. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for joining. I'm Dr. Isabel, and I hope, Laura, you're almost cut off. No, Max is almost cut off. I'm always turned around. We wanted to share with you this short video on the creation of the OIE, or World Animal Health Organization, which shows that they are already around for 100 years. And what created the OIE is what still drives problems for us today, and that is the movement of all sorts of animals that bring with them diseases. Then we shared with you a short recent update from the World Animal Health Organization, sorry, on avian influenza, giving you the update from August of the recent outbreaks in poultry as well as other species. And last but not least, just a snippet of a start of this video that we found again on YouTube. Should we worry about avian influenza and why? We recommend you check that video out, and we will put the link to it in the comment section as well. So first of all, I want to encourage you, if you're here live, to send any questions you may have in the comment section. I also wanted to refer to a video that we recorded about 1.5 years ago. So avian influenza is not a new problem by no means, but it is a persistent problem, which is why we're talking about it again, or very specifically, we're talking about it because it once again came very close. In the conference from last weekend that Max mentioned, our topics that we addressed in diseases were New World screwworm once again, as well as avian influenza, and more specifically HPAI, which stands for highly pathogenic avian influenza. Because there was an outbreak in the end of August just across the border from us, reminding us of this constant threat. So we wanted to refresh everybody's memory on why this is so concerning and important to us. We follow along the video we just shared with you where you should be aware of it. You should not be anxiety-ridden, worrying about it. It currently is not yet a threat to human health, but it sure has the potential. So we need to know about this and be aware and know how to protect ourselves before we have this in Belize, which would truly be terrible. So with that being said, as an introduction, questions in the comments, and we were going to do this a little bit different, unlike before where we don't have a recorded new presentation, but we will just do a little Q&A.
All right, so I do have some questions here. So first of all, what is avian influenza and what is the difference to HPAI?
So very basic introduction. Avian influenza is a virus. There are many influenza viruses, and not all avian influenza is HPAI. So highly pathogenic stands for very pathogenic, very damaging, causing severe disease. And within the influenza viruses, there is the majority that are actually low pathogenic, not causing much disease. However, influenza viruses in general have a very high tendency to mutate and then convert potentially into highly pathogenic avian influenza. And that is what we are truly very concerned about. But diagnosis of this disease is not simple and straightforward, where the first test is, yes, it's influenza, and then it requires further tests to A, confirm, and to B, test for how pathogenic is it. So that's the medium.
All right. My next question would be, which species can get avian influenza, commonly referred to as bird flu?
Yes, another surprising one. Not only birds get bird flu. So who all can get it? Over 130, I believe now, different bird species have been shown to carry avian influenza and or show signs of disease from avian influenza. Our highest concern species, poultry. Poultry gets very ill with HPAI and will commonly show very high mortality. Meaning if this disease came to us here in Belize. The biggest threat that it poses economically is to our poultry industry, that it could basically destroy. Furthermore, lots of wild bird species can get it, but even more so, and that is why we are more concerned about this disease as humans, mammals have also increasingly acquired the avian influenza virus and shown signs of disease, including severe disease. And last but not least, there have been several human cases that have mostly been mild, but in a couple of cases already fatal as well. So many species can get the bird flu, which is why we're talking about bird flu under One Health and on this channel.
All right, well, you just kind of touched on this one, Dr. Isabel, but my next question would be, well, why should we be concerned about avian influenza?
Oopsie, giving away the answers ahead of time. So yes, the poultry industry is a huge economic concern. If avian influenza gets into our poultry production, it will be absolutely devastating. We are also concerned for our wildlife populations because this can lead to die-offs in wild birds. The recent case in Guatemala was in wild ducks, and there were 117 deaths. And yeah, then we're concerned about humans, last but very much not least, because avian influenza, or specifically HPAI, H1N5, has been under observation and surveillance globally for the fear that it will turn into the next pandemic, like COVID, that it jumps into humans and spreads then from human to human. And it has done multiple steps towards this, where it has jumped into more and more species over the last several years. And it has jumped into humans. The last step it needs to turn into a pandemic is to spread from human to human. And that's the step it hasn't yet done, but we need to be on the lookout for this disease and use precaution when there's any possibility that we could get in contact and avoid such contact. So economic concerns, concerns for wildlife health and biodiversity, as well as human health.
All right, very good. Then, well, very scary. But my next question would be, have there been any cases of avian influenza in Belize, and where else nearby have there been cases?
Yes, and again, I almost gave it away. We've been so fortunate. There has not been a case of HPAI in Belize confirmed. For those of you who have followed this and are aware of this for some years already, we have been on high alert for about 3 years now. And last year there was a suspect case that unfortunately came out as a confirmed case when it really wasn't yet. And it looked briefly like we had an outbreak, but ultimately it was a false positive result. So no cases in Belize yet. We are on the lookout for it here for 3 years already. Any birds that are suspicious, we have sent into Baja. And I also wanted to mention that Baja does regular surveillance as well for this disease. So yes, on the lookout. Close by is the case that I mentioned a little moment ago, which was in Guatemala in August of this year, where there was a die-off in wildlife. So yes, close.
All right. Then what I'm wondering now is, how would we recognize avian influenza, and what should we do if we suspect it?
The problem is it's not easy to detect or diagnose, because oftentimes it may show no signs. The first sign may be sudden death, so nothing seen and all of a sudden the birds are immediately dead, or appear weak briefly, and next thing there is lots of birds dying. There could be respiratory signs. And in many species, you will see neurologic signs. So birds that can't stand anymore, that fall over and aren't able to move properly or get away. The signs are unspecific. What should be done when there is a chance that it could be that? Number one is do not touch and call BAHA. We are going to put the phone number in the chat as well. I may have to pull it out of my phone still, but we wanted to share that number with you here as well. So you would suspect it if you see lots of birds dying. It could be just one bird. It could be your backyard chickens. It could be your large-scale chicken farm. Or it could be you see wild birds dying. A very current case that I wanted to just mention that's very far from here is in Germany. There was a new outbreak just this last week or 10 days ago that it started, and it's affecting wild birds that had recently recovered from conservation efforts over the last decades and are now showing severe signs with an outbreak that is spread already across Germany into several poultry productions because these wild birds literally fell from the sky and fell into the sites, and that spread the infection and is causing once again devastating impacts.
All right. What can we do to prevent avian influenza from reaching here?
The most important is being aware of it and not touching any potentially sick birds, because we could spread it, and worst case, we could get it. Furthermore, a prevention that is not as simple, easily said, but bring your birds inside. You want to avoid contact with wild birds. How our commercial birds and backyard chickens are going to get it is from migratory and wild birds flying over. So the only way to really eliminate the contact there is strict biosecurity. This is especially important for your production sites, but also in backyard chickens.
All right. Thanks for clarifying. And you had mentioned this, but just to reiterate, does Belize do surveillance for avian influenza? And if we suspect cases, who can we report them to?
Short answer, yes, Belize Agricultural Health Authority, BAHA, does surveillance, and that is where you and us report suspected cases to. And they will come in, conduct the testing. There's no charge for it. And yeah, I will look up the number here shortly.
All right, well, I do believe that concludes our avian influenza Q&A, but if we have any questions from the viewers, you guys can feel free to comment them. Even if they come a little later, we will get back to you and have a response.
We will probably talk about this topic more than once because, as said, it's a long-lasting threat that the world is on the lookout for, and we are on one of the little frontiers here, and hopefully we get lucky and we stay clear and aware and careful.
Indeed. All right, guys. So yeah, do keep an eye out. Do comment any questions that you have, and yeah, we'll be giving you guys updates on this as we go. So on to our next topic. I have a brief presentation on road safety for you guys. This is road safety for humans and wildlife alike, and I'm sure a lot of us have seen that in the past week alone, we've lost 2 jaguars on our highways, so it's, now more important than ever that we really try to be safe on the road, protect our own lives, preserve our wildlife, and yeah, we'll get into this video for some tips on how you can do so. Alright guys, so now we'll be going through a brief presentation on the connections between road safety and wildlife here in Belize. So let me just go ahead and share my screen and we'll get right into it. All right. And unhide that. So, road safety for all of us is an important issue here in Belize. We see a lot of fatalities on our roads, both for humans and wildlife. So here are just some actionable tips to help you guys stay safe in these areas where we do see a lot of wildlife crossing. And here we have a photo just showing a jaguar that was unfortunately a victim of road safety just this last week. So road safety does fall into the One Health concept. It does show a connection between animal, human, and environmental health. And it is a risk to all of these. So it's very important to know how we can best stay safe out there, guys. So why road safety matters? As drivers, we do share these spaces with wildlife. It's our responsibility to both keep our fellow man safe as well as the wildlife that inhabits these areas, especially as we kind of encroach more into these wild areas. So yeah, wildlife and drivers do share roads. Our roads often pass through or near natural habitats. Here at BWRC, about 30% of our intakes actually come due to road injuries. And it poses a big risk to drivers and, of course, wildlife as well. But it is very preventable. Awareness and responsible driving can go a long way in keeping us all safe on the road. And some of the reasons that we might see more of these incidences is that animals do cross roads to access food, water, and mates, and the more we develop into rural areas, the more their habitat is fragmented and they do have to cross our roads and able to just survive. So road safety in Belize for humans, it's a huge, huge concern. We all know somebody who has suffered. And yeah, it's deadly out there. So we really need to start taking our time and being a little more mindful of this, guys. Even in a year like 2021, when COVID-19 was rampant, when there weren't all that many people on the road, you can see here that road injury was actually the 8th leading cause of death here in Belize. So even in a time like that, these are the latest statistics from the WHO, but I'm sure that that number might be even a bit worse by now. So the first tip here would be, of course, slowing down and staying alert. Reducing speed is the most effective prevention of any kind of accident, be it with wildlife, be it with other drivers, be it just whatever you're doing on the road, going slow makes it safer. Also, as speed on the road goes up, so too does the impact force when we hit something and the required distance to come to a full stop. So the faster we go, the deadlier it is. You really want to take your time when going around curves or bends where visibility is limited. When you're in rural areas or forested zones where you don't know when an animal might pop out. Before or after bridges or culverts, as animals often would be using these areas as crossing points and are likely to come up onto the roadway there. As well as at dusk, nighttime, or at dawn, when both our visibility is limited and a lot of species are more active during this time. Yeah, so the faster you are, the less time you have to react, and the more damage will be done on impact. So remember, guys, just slow down. It's better to reach late than never, right? So moving onwards. We have the use of visibility and the use of lights on the roads. So we do recommend to use high beams where it's safe and appropriate. They can help us to detect eye shine from animals from a further distance. But if you do spot an animal, our recommendation would be to switch to your low beams. You might have heard the phrase, like a deer in the headlights. This is because some animals do freeze when they're suddenly confronted by lights. This can be a huge risk to us. And our recommendation there would be if you see an animal, slow down immediately and prepare to stop. If the animal isn't moving out of the roadway, you really just want to approach slowly. You can gently blow your horn a few times and you can flash your lights because often this will, encourage the animal to leave the roadway safely. And when I say flash your lights, I just mean like switching between high beam and low beam a bit to, get them to likely move off of the road at that point when you're approaching slowly. Next up, we always want to watch for movement. So you want to pay attention to any kind of movement, any flickering reflections along the roadside. This can be an animal passing in front of these reflectors. You want to also look out for eye shine or even just a glint of an eye as the animal might be on the move. You might not get full eye shine, but just a bit of shine can be a sign that something is there. And then you also, like I said earlier, you should stay particularly alert during dusk and dawn, as both our visibility and animal visibility is pretty reduced at these times, and animals are more active. The nocturnal animals are likely going in for the night at this point in time, and other animals are just getting active for the day. So this is a time when you do really want to be mindful. So on to misconceptions about safe conditions. Here in this photo, this is going through the Belize Maya Forest corridor. You can see that it's a long, straight stretch of road. It's clear conditions, all of that. This is actually an area where a great number of our wildlife fatalities here in Belize happen due to the road. You do want to, be mindful even in areas that do feel safe. Because interestingly, accidents do occur more often than one might think in ideal driving conditions. So that would be on clear nights where it's no rain, no fog, anything, on dry roads, on long straight stretches. You might wonder why. This is because in these safe conditions, or supposedly safe conditions, drivers do tend to speed up and lower their guard. So people might feel that all is all right, they can go fast through this area. You always want to be cautious because animals are unpredictable. You never know when one of them might pop up into the road in front of you, especially in an area like this that's rural, that's part of our wildlife corridor that a lot of animals are crossing through. And yeah, the takeaway here would be just to always remain cautious no matter how safe or familiar a road might be to you. You never know what might be just right around the corner or right up ahead that you're not really seeing due to, any of a number of conditions. All right, my next tip would be for managing garbage and attractants. So we all know that you're not supposed to litter, keep Belize clean, but what some of us might not realize is even organic stuff, that banana peel, that apple core, throwing it out on the roadside can also attract animals closer to the roadside as that's a food source for them. Once some animals come, other animals might come along and it starts a whole food chain along our roadsides actually, which is dangerous for them and ourselves alike. So yeah, food scraps can attract animals such as coatis, raccoons, birds, and a number of other animals, which draws them dangerously close to traffic. So clean roadsides help keep animals safe and protect drivers too, would be my takeaway from this slide. And don't be a litter bug, of course. All right, so we want to note also that animal behavior is unpredictable. We can know generally how an animal might behave, but there's always going to be that one that we don't know what to expect that we have to be cautious about. So an animal might also freeze, dart across suddenly, or dart into the roadway from the side suddenly, or even be halfway across the road and then turn back around. We never really know what to expect, so if you do see animals anywhere near the roadway, you really want to just slow down well in advance and be prepared for any kind of unpredictable movement. Even after the animal seems to have left the road, we still want to be mindful because we never know what they might do. And also on the topic of, understanding animal behavior, we do want people to note that during the rainy season, we should be especially cautious. Turtles and crocodiles are on the move during this time. They're going between water sources since there is more areas that they can, inhabit. And these animals are really low to the ground. We might not see them. And while running over a turtle might not be all too hazardous for the driver, it is also something that we want to be, mindful to keep our animals safe. And running over a crocodile is something that would be bad for both the driver and the animal involved, right? So here we actually have a short video from Officer Yannick Wade from Belize City. This is a crocodile that was in the roadway just coming out of Belize City. Unfortunately, it already had been hit by some sort of vehicle, but it was brought to the clinic and we were able to treat it and eventually release it. But this is just to show you that, you don't know what to expect out there, so you always want to go slowly, cautiously, and be alert. All right, moving on to the next slide. So, when it comes to animals on the roadway, there are some resources for reporting and supporting conservation. So, of course, we have our 24/7 hotline that you can always call if you suspect an animal might be close to the roadway and be trying to cross, or, just need advice on any situation. So the number for that will be 615-5159. For wildcat roadkill, we do urge you to contact the Forest Department hotline at 610-1524. We have seen just in the last week, 2 jaguars have really sadly been killed on our roads. One up by the wildlife corridor, one down on the Hummingbird Highway. We want to go slowly and cautiously, guys. Like I said, we never know when these animals might pop out in front of us. And if you do hit them, remember that you must report it legally. You have to report it to the Forest Department. You can reach to their hotline at 610-1524. And then they'll send somebody out to deal with this issue or reach out to a partner as well. So you can call us or the Forest Department for advice or assistance, but also for documenting this, animals on the roadway or even roadkill, you can use iNaturalist, as this helps us to kind of identify hotspots, and then, the government can respond to that. They can put in wildlife crossings where they're needed. We can know the most common species and the most frequented areas for them to be crossing as well. An example of this would be, these crossings can guide future safety measures, like on the coastal road, which was recently upgraded. We have seen a wildlife underpass there being used shortly after it was made by a mother jaguar and her cub to safely cross the road. So, having this data can be very useful in terms of planning future infrastructure. And we do find that our government here in Belize is also very willing to work alongside conservation groups in making it a safe place for the animals. Then UB's Environmental Research Institute also has an interesting project on iNaturalist, the Belize Roadkill Project. This helps to document roadkill throughout the country, and this, again, valuable data tells us key areas and key species to watch out for. So it's a really cool initiative. I would urge all of you guys to download iNaturalist and sign up for it. And you can help us to better understand where our safe areas are and where we need to upgrade it a bit. And again, shared roads and shared responsibility. Here you guys can see an albino coati, which was a recent patient here at BWRC. This little guy was brought in as just a cub, I guess a young coati would be. But he was brought in very young after trying to rush across a busy roadway there close to the wildlife corridor. And luckily, some good Samaritans saw this issue and reached out to us, and eventually this coati did make it into our care. So remember, again, guys, our roads cross protected areas and vital wildlife corridors. As we encroach more and more into these areas and land gets more fragmented, some of these creatures have very big ranges and they just need to cross the road in order to get to the things that they need. So our incredible biodiversity is part of what makes Belize so special. Let's keep our roads safe so that we can keep that a thing. Next, being a driver is a huge responsibility. We're taking the lives of ourselves, of other humans, of the wildlife in Belize crossing the road. All of this we're taking into our hands every time we start the engine and go on the road. So it means our roads are, the spot where you want to be the most mindful. So drive slowly, stay alert, respect wildlife, and of course, report what you see. We want to drive slowly. Yeah, all right, sorry, that's what I just went over. And together we can reduce wildlife collisions, protect our native species, and make these roads safer for animals and humans alike. Now here we just have some photo credits for the different stuff that we had used in this presentation. And of course, the role of the Wildlife Ambassador Program to decrease conflict and the risk of zoonosis transmission and improve wildlife response. Thanks as always to the Belize Forest Department for being our partner in this, as well as to our sponsors, UNIDO and the GEF. Without you guys, this program would not be possible. So again, thanks as always. And be safe out there, everybody.
All right. So thank you, Max, for that presentation. And we hope that you listen to it. And if you ever miss it, you can always go to our YouTube channel and see all the presentations that we have been showing you guys. So moving on to our favorite part of our live is releases. So we're gonna share some pictures of our previous releases, and we want to thank all our incredible conservation partners for their unwavering dedication and teamwork in continued rehabilitation of our wildlife here at BWRC. Their commitment makes every successful release possible and gives these animals a second chance for survival. We want to thank not only our conservation partners, but also our rescuers and frontline responders who work closely with us, and their quick action makes all the difference here and for all those conservation partners around. So remember, like we always say, together we can make and we can protect Belize's wildlife, especially now that our highways are paved, and makes a big difference if we could slow down and take real precautions of all our roads while driving. So yeah.
So we've had some great releases recently. There was 2 howler monkeys that have recently been transferred. We had a great story which was shared to our social media about the release of those 6 baby possums that were raised by a surrogate mother, which was a first for us, but also very amazing. And of course, our porcupine from a couple months ago has made a full recovery and is back in the wild where it belongs. So that takes us on. Those were all of our releases. So now we have the answers for our trivia.
All right. So we're gonna share our answers since we didn't see any answers under the comment section, so we're gonna share them. Our first answer is highly pathogenic avian influenza. Or,
HPAI stands for.
and then the question for number 2 was, why should we be worried about cases of HPAI so close to us? Note we have not yet had confirmation cases in Belize. So our answers is all of the above. So question number 2A is HPAI could devastate our poultry industry, led to massive losses, eggs, shortages, etc. Then
HPAI could mutate and infect humans and potentially even turn into the next pandemic. And it has mutated and killed humans already. And
then HPAI could lead to devastating biodiversity losses, dies off in wild birds. So
all of these answers are true. All of these are big risks that come from HPAI and reasons that we really need to be aware of this disease, do proper monitoring, report to Baja if you do see any suspected cases, and it takes all of us working together to keep a good track on this stuff. So let's all play our part. And on into our gratitudes as we come to the closing of this live. We would just like to say a huge thank you to, first of all, our common volunteers here, Craig, Gare, and Renacho, for always being in support of the clinic, as well as for coming in during our last conference and really giving a huge support to us there, as well as the past educator, Mr. Gian Vasquez, for coming in and being the MC for our conference. That was a huge assist, and we appreciate all three of you guys for, going the extra mile to help us out here out of your own free will, or out of your own time, sorry. And then, of course, we want to thank all sponsors and assistants that we've had for the conference and the gala both, as well as all donors to the BWRC. We've had some great donations lately. We've gotten a blender, we've gotten some great medical equipment, all of that. So thanks to all of you guys for, putting in your part and keeping it all going, helping us to conserve Belize's wildlife. And now, in closing, we would again like to play the Belize Our Jewels song by Miss Marga Walls.
By the Caribbean Sea, so precious to me, a jewel, a secret, a land of the free, with mountains so high and rivers so clear. Belize, we hold you so very near.
Nation so small, yet your spirit so tall. Your sea rich and blue, your jungles enthralled, with jaguars that roam where the wild runs true. Belize, every heartbeat belongs to you. Belize, our jewel, our pride, our home, from island shore
memory scarred, yet you found your way. Through struggle and pain, you're here to stay. No wars have torn your freedom apart. Independent you stand with strength of heart.
We stand in awe as your secrets unfold. Your island so bright, your beaches of gold. Believes your story is written in song. A land that is ours, where we all do you. Believe our jewel, our pride, our home. From island shores to forests unknown. Your beauty untouched in green and blue. Believe forever we stand with you. Belize, our jewel, our pride, our home. By the Caribbean Sea, forever we roam. Your beauty eternal, forever true. Belize, our treasure, we sing for you. We sing for you.
Alright, guys. Thanks again for tuning into our live. We hope that you guys had some good insights throughout this last hour, learned a bit, and we hope that you take this information about avian influenza and about road safety seriously, and apply it to your day-to-day as well. Keep an eye out, be safe, slow down, and yeah, we'll see you guys all next month. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.